Hey guys, welcome to Manifesting Better. I'm back with another video and another topic that needs to be addressed. I also have an Instagram account, the link for that is in the description box below. Coaching is also available, the link for that too is in the description box below. 5 ways to deal with opposite circumstances. Hey guys, hope you're well. And in this video, I want to talk about it in detail on what are the 5 things that I have found most helpful for myself and my clients to deal with circumstances when they go opposite while you are manifesting something. Now, the first thing I would like to say is that no one wants their circumstances to get opposite, but a lot of times they will, right? So just because your circumstances are going opposite, that does not necessarily mean that you're doing anything wrong. A lot of times it's a part of the journey. A lot of times it is supposed to happen. There are many reasons because of which it might be happening. And of course, that is not something I know because I don't know your situation specifically. But if you are someone who feels that I'm stuck in an opposite circumstance and maybe I'm doing something wrong, you can be, but there is also a possibility that you might not be. So if you are an honest individual and you are able to gather this towards yourself and able to tell yourself honestly if I'm doing something wrong or not, if the answer is I'm pretty sure I'm not doing something wrong, then understand that it might not be an opposite circumstance. It just might be a circumstance that is happening and you need to persist, right? But if you feel that you are doing something wrong or you are not able to identify it, then connect with a coach, connect with someone who you feel can help you, who can guide you forward in this, so that they are able to guide you forward and better with this situation. So let's understand the 5 ways through which circumstances, when they go opposite, how to deal with them and how to make sure you come out of them in a positive way. First one, a genuine question to ask yourself is, are my circumstances actually opposite, or am I just calling them opposite? A lot of times what happens is we as humans are very reactive, right? And we assign meaning to things very quickly. So whenever there is something that is happening in front of me, I would be very quick to assign judgment to it. That, oh, this is opposite, this is going negative. I was thinking that and this is going in that way. A lot of times what the situation is that it's not going opposite. It's just something that is happening and I'm very quick to judge, right? So the perceptions of positive, negative, opposite, and in my support of my desire are all made by me. And who am I? I am someone who is a accumulation of all my experiences, all the ways through which I think the how should be, all the reasons that I think should happen, and all the processes that should happen before I get something. The first point of manifestation is that the how is not in your control. Just like the when is not in your control. If the how is not in your control, and when something outside of you is happening and you're providing judgment to it, saying that it's going opposite, it's a lot of times the judgment provided by your predicted how. But your predicted how does not have to be the only how, does not have to be the how of the universe, subconscious, God. So if you are assuming that something is going opposite, first ask yourself, is it going opposite, or am I just very reactive and sensitive to the physical world? Is it going opposite, or am I just assuming this is going opposite because it's not going in the manner that I want? Is it going opposite, or is it just stagnant and I'm assuming that that means it's opposite? Because when we are assigning these things this meaning, and when we are going into this from that perspective, we are just assigning meanings for no reason, which is only hurting us. So first way to handle an opposite circumstance is to realize that it might not be opposite at all. It just might be me assigning meaning to something that does not necessarily have a meaning. The second way to handle an opposite circumstance is acceptance. Now, when we first get into the concept of manifestation, we are taught ignore the 3D, ignore the 3D. Now, ignoring the 3D means something totally different than what we make it out to be. So under the pretense of ignoring the 3D, what we are doing is we are gaslighting ourselves. We are ignoring something when it is happening in front of us. We are running away from circumstances. We are seeing something but being very reactive to it. We are pretending something does not exist. None of that is actually ignoring the 3D. Ignoring the 3D does not mean that you delude yourself into thinking that what is happening in front of you isn't happening. Acceptance is the first way to be able to surpass the physical world, to be able to surpass any opposite circumstance. Because first when you accept its existence. You don't accept that it would be final, right? You just accept that it exists. Once I can accept that something in front of me exists, I'm not saying it is going to be final forever. I'm saying that at this moment, this is this way. So I don't need to run away, because even if it is this way, I am fine. I might be very hurt. I might not like it, but I'm fine. And if I'm fine, then this circumstance does not have that power over me. So, for example, let's say you're manifesting a person and at this moment you are not together, or they maybe told you that, you know what, I'm not looking for a relationship right now. Great. That's the perspective that they took, and that's the perspective that you took, right? Once you are in that zone and you start reacting, no, 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 they love me, so I will consistently text them thousands of times pretending that I love them and we are in a relationship, when it is only creating an opposite effect. Or I'm just making myself believe that no, 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 everything that they are doing, every breath that they take means that they love me. That's not a part of any healthy dynamic at all. That's just you trying to fulfill your egoistical needs, which is fine. We all have done it, but not really helpful. In this moment, the better answer would be, okay, they might not be in that love with me right now, just like I was at one time not in love with them. That developed, so this can develop too. The end result here is the feeling of power, that of course, why wouldn't someone love me? Like, what is the issue of why wouldn't someone love me? Going in that direction is the solution to this. So acceptance is very powerful. The third one, what can I learn from this? Now, this statement has helped me a lot of times. So this is how the journey starts. We are at a place, we want to be at another place. The place that we are at right now is the version of me who exists in that place. The other place that I want to be would have a different version of me who would exist at that place, right? What that means is, if I am right now Karan, who exists here right now, if I would be Karan who would be a billionaire, I would be a different person. I would think things differently, think situations differently, talk to situations differently, talk to people differently, assume everything in a particular perspective. My perceptions would be different. When a circumstance happens in front of me and I see it and I tell myself, you know what, something opposite is happening, but what can I learn from this that can get me closer to the version of me that I want to be? That will be an absolute game changer. So when I see something in front of me and I tell myself, you know what, something is happening in front of me, does not mean that I have to react, but what can I learn from this? What can I actually achieve from this that can help me become a better version of me, or get me closer to the version of me who I would be if I had what I wanted? If I take it through that way, I wouldn't be reactive towards the circumstances. Then everything becomes a learning experience. And even though it might hurt me, sometimes growth happens with pain, and that's fine. You are a human being. You can handle it, right? You are not fragile. You are very strong. You have handled everything that life has thrown at you till now, which means you can handle this too. But on the other side, you will come out of it a very strong person, a person who would be the version of you who would have it. Let's say I'm manifesting money, and then I start getting some money, but then I was like, my trust was broken by someone and I got a loss. Great. I can learn from this that when I would have a larger amount of money, I don't have to feel foolish by trusting this person particularly, for example, like just an example like this, or I don't have to make this mistake. This taught me that when I have more money, I don't have to lose this. So this is not an opposite circumstance. This is a circumstance which is a blessing in disguise, because it is teaching me that later I can learn something from this. The next one, how can I respond to this differently? So when circumstances happen, they are also opportunities, not just for learning, but for how can I respond to this so that I can cement my new concept of myself. The old concept of yourself was not built in a day, right? It was built over a period of years, months, weeks, whatever it is. You were very persistent and repetitive with the way that you showed up in front of something. If you see that, some people say that my relationships have all been poor. Great, but if you will see that you have been a common denominator there. So there has been a level of persistence with repeating the same patterns over and over in these relationships. This can actually be an opportunity for me to see a similar circumstance and respond to it in the way that I would if I had what I wanted. This will teach me that I can cement my new identity even if I don't have the validation of the physical world right now. That is actually a very good definition of power, which means my new identity is actually not dependent on the physical world. That will help me promote myself to a version of me who would have the feeling of confidence that I can handle anything. So if I'm handling negative circumstances this way, how well will I handle positive ones? The next one. This is a very tough question that you need to ask yourself, and something that needs to come up and something that you need to take into account. A question that I always ask myself is, am I actually persistent or am I just pretending to be? A lot of times what happens is someone comes and tells me, Karan, I have been manifesting for years and I have been seeing negative circumstances. But then when we go deeper into their situation, we realize that what they have been doing in years, through years, is something which is not ideal. They have been consistently chasing, they have been consistently ruminating in the past, they have been consistently reacting, they are not consistent with their routines, whatever it is. When we keep going in that direction and regularly keep thinking of situations that way, we keep giving ourselves a version of ourselves which is not someone who's ideally fit to manifest things, because we are not in that position where we are actually getting the results, because we are not persistent. We will always get the consequences of our mental state and our actions associated with that mental state. If we just keep doing the same thing and we say that our circumstances are they opposite, or am I just manifesting them again and again because I'm not persistent? This goes back to the first point, that hire someone that can help you get into a better direction with this, because they would be able to guide you better, which you probably might not be able to do it yet, which is fine. We all need support sometimes, so it's not a bad thing. So I hope this helps. The next video will be about a few ways through which you can live in the end better. So I will see you guys there and hope you have a good one. Click the like button if you liked the video. Subscribe and turn the notifications on for more such content. Comment down your video suggestions and I will see you guys in the next one.